equity over total assets. It drives me nuts that they write that like that in your book, all right? The reason is because normally I drop the T. So I drop the T and just use A, E, and L for liabilities. For assets for A, liabilities are L, and equity is E. All right, another thing, it sort of drives me crazy, but here's a little learning tool. That is just total liabilities over total assets. True? Yeah. So it's all working off this. Assets equal liabilities plus equity. All right, and all they've done is they've solved for liabilities. So liabilities are equal to assets minus equity. That's what you see right there. All right, so you think, oh, well, why do they do that? Why don't, if I was actually just doing our total debt ratio, I would just instead say liabilities over assets, which is the same thing as assets minus equity over assets. Does that make sense to everyone? They're the same to me. So the reason why they do this in your book is to get your brain starting to think. Lots and lots of problems are solved by substituting an accounting identity in. All right? So all they're doing is kind of starting to prime your brain to do that. All right, so let's just solve this one first of all. Our total debt ratio, that's total liabilities over total assets. Here's our total assets, which are $53.94. Subtracting off our total equity at $25.56. Divided by total assets, we get 52.61%. You would have gotten the same thing if you just taken total liabilities divided by total assets. You'll get the same answer, right? What does that 52.61% mean? It means 52.61% of your assets are financed with debt. A third-party creditor is financing 52.61% of your assets. So how much is being financed out of your own pocket?
48.
About 47 point something percent. 1 minus that number. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so this high, low, medium, it's all relative. It's all relative. Some industries operate with high leverage. Banking, for instance, operates with high leverage. Other industries like tech, startup tech companies, couldn't get people to lend to them. Nobody will lend to them, no way. So they'll have angel investors coming in buying stock, and they'll have a leverage ratio of 0. No leverage, no debt. And that's because nobody will lend to them because they're a really bad debt. Right? Does that make sense to everyone? So you've got just the gamut of possibilities. So let's go back and talk about leverage and what it does. Leverage, the higher the leverage, the more the magnification. So if you've got good management in which you're trying to, you're building your widgets and you're making a profit, leverage will magnify that profit.
Yes.
If you've got bad management and you're losing money on every widget, you're going to magnify that loss. All right, so it magnifies, and that can be good, that can be bad. But one thing I do know, that it creates risk. And particularly, leverage creates risk for who?
Shareholders.
It certainly does the current lenders that are lending or borrowing, the current lenders who have lent money to the company, sure. But someone else, think of that balance sheet. Liabilities are up higher. Who's below? Shareholders, equity holders. They're the ones at risk risk more than anybody. Does that make sense? The more leverage above their heads, if I'm the equity holder, the more leverage above my head, which Chesapeake has their share, and I'm a shareholder, I'm a common stockholder, as I think you were. The more leverage above our heads means there's more interest obligations, more expenses going out above me, and the chances of me catching something, some trickle down, think of it, trickle down, chances of me catching some of that cash flow is less. Does that make sense? And the more leverage above me puts me at risk. So shareholders view leverage as risky. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. See y'all later. I'm done. Stick a fork in. We'll start out. I think the two classes are real close.